Venture. The people of Sunkuru Gada in Taraba State are mountain dwellers. Until recently, not many people knew they existed. It was surprising to find that even in the face of civilization and modernity, their cultural identity has stayed intact. Though historically affiliated to some communities in neighboring Cameroon, they are isolated from the rest of the world by several factors that come with living hundreds of meters above sea level. To make the terrain more conducive for the people and accessible to visitors, there are ongoing efforts to open up the area, a task that is by no means easy. Hamis Urogo reports from the mountains of Sunkuru Gada.
For the sheer beauty of its topography, Taraba is next to heaven. If ever you want to access Taraba communities, however, through their high altitudes, you may think hell is a misnomer. I went to Kurumgada, a development area in Taraba, to do a story on a community that were said to be just discovered. Actually, the story is not so dramatic, but the people are super hard to reach. I followed a team from Community and Social Development Project, a federal and state project helping poor and vulnerable communities address challenges of development. There are two such projects in Sunkurum, a school and a skill acquisition center. Our trip looks promising. We actually had a fair weather up to Sabengida. Then we drove the comfort and safety of our motorcade and began a rough and risky 200-kilometer trip by motorcycle. Only motorcycles access Sunkurum Gada. It is not like there is any defined pathway. Motorcyclists are guided by expediency, more by good judgment than by the design of the way. It is a continuous climb to a community that is seated on a mountain top. You go downhill in a second. By another, you are climbing up a steep hill, awkward, crude and unpredictable. At several points, my imaginations were making me freeze with anxiety. We are not halfway through the journey, but we look like a heavy thunderstorm has passed over us. We look so ruffled and dusty. It is part of the challenges of going to Gada, that means Gada Community Development in Taraba State, that you have to cross river. It is a very rugged terrain like I have shown you, but then obviously it is more rugged when you know that you have to cross rivers and climb mountains and move almost 300 kilometers. We had to cross 3 running rivers. Surely, in the thick of rainy season, Sunkurum is definitely cut out from the world. Not a single one of us wanted to cross any river on top of a motorcycle. In this river, the more elderly among us found a craft without a skilled pilot. They made it safe to the other side anyway. I took the water on foot. It was not anything fun. The rocks underground tear your skin. Several followed suit with the same result. But again, the environment is engaging. The running water, the lush vegetation, the serene environment, the trajectory of the river, and the general feature of the landscape. Gradually, we picked speed again. Expectations were high, but no Gada on sight. Eventually, it took us 6 hours to arrive, and it was late evening. There was no school in session, but we observed the 6 blocks of classrooms built for the community by CSDP. It was the first time they ever had a school, and now that they have it, neighbors come too.
We have 6 communities around this area that the children come all over to come and school here. They are now sending their children to school. We have a custom here that ladies are not allowed to go to school, and even children were not allowed to go to school. They go to farm for farming. But when the CSDP came in with a very good structure, which is first in history for a site of the communities, they are happy to send their children to school.
They do have a skill acquisition center too, where tailoring works are taught. 250 people have so far graduated here, and another 250 are undergoing training. Sunkurum is not an extensive settlement. It is in bits and pieces, like its tailoring works, patched on the foot of hills. The beautiful thing about them, however, is that so many governments and systems are interested about them.
Another interesting adventure by Hamisu Rogo. Thanks. Next up, one fine day in Lafia, Nasarawa State, 19-year-old Patience Leah left home for one of the neighboring markets but failed to return. 3 days later, her parents reported her disappearance to the police and she was declared missing. As a desperate search for Patience continued, she returned home with a strange story. Achigili Magaji is our guide.
A trip of less than 30 minutes to and from her home in Angwanungu area of Lafia metropolis kept Patience Leah away for 3 days. She is back. But rewind and how it all happened is startling.
She wants to cook food for me. After the church service, when I ate before I move, then I give her money to go and buy food stuff. So that was the end for me to see her be that.
Tuesday night, Patience, who is a graduate of Isa Mustafa Agwai Polytechnic, Lafia, reappeared to the warm embrace of her people. She narrates her story.
On Sunday morning, my mother gave me money to go and buy ingredients in Casson tomatoes. When I just leave house in my street here, I just see a car and there is people inside. The car is Jeep and the man stopped me and asked me that, did I know ERCC Angwanungu? I say yes, and I'm trying to explain where they tie my eye, they cover my eye with black clothes.
Sharing the happiness of the family are many who turned up also thanking God for what they describe as a miracle.
God have done it for us. We'll say thank you. We thank God so much. And we pray. We always be praying. The people, they should be praying for this generation that we are today. Because this thing that happened, it can happen to anybody.
She's come back alive. We say thank you, Lord. And those that are there, may God release them back home.
There are many cases of missing persons in Nasarawa State. As residents say, beyond the mandate of security agencies of securing lives, the people should be vigilant at all times.
Nobody is even ready to tell you that something is going to happen to you the next minute, especially at the security situation we are facing today.
Maybe your neighbor is crying for help. At least, if you don't have anything, or maybe if you don't have any weapon or anything, there are ways you can call on phone, you can shout, so that maybe others will come to the rescue.
In fact, we are supposed to be our brother's keeper. That's what we talk about security. Whatever you see that's happening to your brother, at least it's good for you to alert him or to help him.
We want to use this avenue to advise the people to be conscious of their environment, take care of their children. We shouldn't allow children to walk around anyhow. We should always protect our children, because if they cannot get to us, they'll definitely get to our children.
We live in strange times. Patience is so lucky to be alive to tell the tale. Our next story is about a 1-year-old boy who has been through so much already. It all began with a kidnap. After he was found, his pathetic situation worsened because of his parents' reaction. I will step back for Tessio Mary to tell us the full story.
It all started from the National Hospital Abuja, where the public relations officer, Tayo Hastro, announced that an unknown baby was brought to the hospital by police officers Mpape Division.
They claimed that they found the baby in the bush, abducted, and the guy that abducted him was trying to remove one of his eyes, and they caught him and they now arrested him.
Since we received the baby, we've had a couple of doctors examine the child, and one of the specialists, the ophthalmologist, has also been able to examine this baby. Currently, we're just trying to relieve pain. We've also had to care for the child because the child was brought to us naked.
The story then took a different dimension when investigations revealed that the biological parents of baby Trust, Amos, who is 1 year old, are the culprits of this heinous crime. Though the parents alongside another culprit are already cooling off in the police cell, they denied attempting to remove the baby's eye. They, however, admitted that they wanted to end the baby's life because of the bad luck and untold hardship the baby has brought to them since he was born.
This baby, I'm the one that born here. I passed through many pains in this life. Up to now, I'm still in pains. I went to many places, even the places I never been in my life. Native doctor, hospital, church, and nothing did not do to see this baby survive. No money to rent a house because of this boy. As I say, enough is enough. Let us separate with this boy. So how did you separate? So we now took the boy to bush to throw it out. If government will help me to hold this baby, I'll be grateful. Because now what they are giving in hospital is milk. I mean, I don't have that power. That's what this boy be suffering us for, that milk. I'm trying my best to introduce him to Akamo. And now he end up in milk in hospital. I don't have that power.
Police Public Relations Officer FCT Command Anjuguri Mamza, while confirming the arrest of the culprits, says the baby was rescued as a result of a tip-off by the vigilantes in the bush.
But they gave it to the man, that is Timothy Bulus, who was arrested in custody of a child, to go and dispose of, because they felt the child was demon possessed, and he is an ill luck to the family. However, for us as the police, we've commenced discreet investigation.
Whether or not the parents and their in-law wanted to use part of the baby's body for ritual purpose or plan to eliminate the baby to get rid of him, the fact remains unclear. Nevertheless, they will be prosecuted for attempting to end the life of the child.
Great that the parents will face the full wrath of the law, and I hope the boy gets better. Elsewhere, he was born with a medical condition known as cryptorchidism. His predicament caught our attention, and we sent Imolayo Tokide to his home in Agbara area of Ogun State, where he lives with his parents. Let's hear his story.
This is David Onwura, a 13-year-old GSS2 student. At first glance, his condition goes unnoticed. David was born without testicles in the scrotal sac. This condition, known as cryptorchidism, did not only affect his urethra, but stunted his growth. His gait is also affected, as his legs are not symmetrical. Standing beside his 9-year-old younger brother, it is clear that David's medical condition has marred his overall physical appearance.
The whole problem started when Ifeanyi was born. When he was born, so the doctor showed us that look at what happened to the boy. So since then, we have been running around to see what we can do about it. He said the testis was up, so that they are going to bring it down.
The testis is supposed to be descended into the scrotal sac within 8 months to 9 months in utero. So it's a rare abnormality to notice that. So, and it's an urgent problem that needs to be attended to.
In spite of his current situation, David is a happy child with hopes and dreams. Undeterred by his physical limitations, David still leads a normal life like every other young teenager.
When it comes to sports, he engages in those ones he can engage on. But when it comes to more physical activities, he is somewhat reserved and probably placed aside.
Sometimes it's really moody. He doesn't talk to anybody, he just play. I try to encourage him and tell him, play to him, talk to him and stuff like that.
When he get that pain, we used to help him to massage it, and I used to lie him down and help him sleep or do other chores at home.
It also changed David's story that his parents managed to raise money for his first surgery to correct the abnormalities. Sadly, it was unsuccessful. It was a relief for them when a non-governmental organization showed interest in David.
We've been trying to see what we will come up with
So by the grace of God, we tried the little we can.
I will have to bend down or stretch my manhood to urinate.
The NGO is banking on the assistance of kind-hearted Nigerians to raise the sum of 2.5 million naira for orchidopexy surgery to correct David's undescended testicles so he can grow up a normal person.
I just want them to help me to get this surgery done, and God will bless them.
Yes, let's come together and save David. We've done it for countless people in the past. We can do it again. Moving on, she was a happy-go-lucky lady when her dreams for an even better future suddenly turned into a painful nightmare. With no hope in sight, she accepted the fact that her days were numbered. However, the universe sent an angel in form of a Nigerian to flip the tragic script. She told her story to Annie Daniels. Take a listen.
She is known by her stage name, Lady Ivy. Her performance on stage drives people off their seats, as is the case here.
I shall give you the word of love. I want you by my side. Be my girl.
Tonight, however, she is not here just to entertain people, but to recount her experience with the dreaded cancer, a disease that almost sniffed life out of her.
Skin cancer, my case, it was a bit really terrible. I had 5 surgeries. Got here, got there, you know. I had a surgery here in Nigeria, but I didn't know the doctor messed everything up. And so I thought when I get over to the States, it's going to also be a minor surgery. When I got there, they said no, that the first surgery we had already worsened everything because there was no test, nothing, just had a surgery like that. And then after a week, I went home. But when I got to the US, when they opened the head, it was really bad. They had to scoop and everywhere.
Succor, however, came her way when a kind-hearted Nigerian came to her rescue.
Because when I had nobody to turn to, when the bills it was just too high, Stanford University, she came to my aid with total fear.
Today, Lady Ivy is on her feet again, doing what she loves doing and knows how best to do. An avenue and opportunity to appreciate that kind-hearted Nigerian that gave her a second chance in life.
I want to present this to you, Mom. Looking so charming, looking sexy. I want you to have this from the bottom of my heart. I want you to know I love you.
Actually, she was in a very critical condition. Ivy was to do an operation. Stanford Hospital refused to do it unless they got $60,000. I reached out to a friend of mine because we, on our own, had only raised $10,000, and they had Stanford had shut down on her. So a friend of mine gave $50,000.
Once you are unduly exposed in the sun, you definitely pick up cancer, because of undue exposure. So in order for that not to happen, then you stay away from the sun.
Lady Ivy's earnest wish is to see more kind-hearted Nigerians reach out to other cancer patients with desire to support their quest for healthy living.
Well, yes, to a fresh beginning, and thanks to Ivy's benefactor. Let's pause here for some commercial messages. Please stay with us.
Enjoy yourself. This is your woman. Don't go borrow somebody.
Be nice.
You're welcome.
Please, where's the restroom?
Or just go into your right.
Thank you.
I'll follow.
But you see, it's nothing
nothing to worry about.
Now, Glow 4G, the wrong thing.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
The Senate Committee on Police Affairs hereby invites submissions and memoranda from stakeholders and the general public at a public hearing on a bill for an act to repeal and reenact the Police Act, Cap P19, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004, and the Police Academy Wudil Kano Establishment, Bill 2020. Date, Wednesday, 18th March 2020. Time, 12 noon. Venue, Conference Hall, L22, New Senate Building, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Chief Health, Senator Dr. Ahmed Ibrahim Lawa, CON, President of the Senate. All memoranda should be submitted in 30 hard copies and a soft copy to the committee's secretariat, room 3.5, 3rd floor, White House, National Assembly Complex, Abuja, and or before Tuesday, 17th March 2020. For inquiries, please contact the committee's secretariat on 0805 348 4080. Senator Haliru Dauda Jika, Committee Chairman, Announcer. This message is supported by PLAG.
Victim Support Fund Abuja and the Nigeria Defense Academy Kaduna cordially invites critical stakeholders to an international conference on insurgency and counterinsurgency in Nigeria, critical perspectives on Boko Haram. Valuable discussions will be held around the nature, evolution and root causes of Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria, as well as the external ramifications for Nigeria, Africa and the world. The national architecture for counterinsurgency will be examined with a view to understanding its structure, operations and functionality, as well as profile solutions for defense and security policy. Date, 17 to 19 March 2020. Venue, the main auditorium, NAF Conference Center, Kado, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Special guest of honor, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Keynote speaker, General Martin L. Agwai, former Chief of Defense Staff, VSF. Rebuilding Lives, Restoring Hope. Professor Sunday Ochoche, Executive Director, VSF. Announcer.
The Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, and the Honorable Minister of State, Barrister Mohammed Abdullahi, cordially invite the general public to this year's Science, Technology and Innovation Expo. Theme, Enhancing the Growth of a Diversified Economy Through Science and Technology. Special guest of honor, Muhammadu Buhari, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Date, Monday 16th to Friday 20th March 2020. Time, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Dr. Mohammed Bello Umar, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
You heard them yourselves, folks. Thousands of fans from across Nigeria have come together to witness the global phenomenon. It's the artist ruling the airwaves, the one with a voice that makes the continent dance. Brace yourself for a performer like no other. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the sensational top vocalist of this generation. It's the legend. It's it's you. We're going up. You watching. You are the yellow star the world is waiting for. So hurry, register now. MTN Yellow Star needs you. Sign up to audition your way to becoming the first yellow star. You stand a chance of winning 1-year recording contract, a fully furnished house with an in-house studio, a brand new car, and so much more.
Yellow, yellow star. Everywhere you go, MTN.
So you gotta have a smile, no matter what it takes. Gotta take Pure Bliss now. I love the way it tastes. Feel the Pure Bliss buzz from the toasty face. Gotta take Pure Bliss now. Feel the bliss today. Say oh, 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 oh. Gotta take feel the bliss today. Say oh, 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 oh.
Light up your day with Pure Bliss milk cookies. Also available Pure Bliss milk cream wafers and rich cocoa biscuits.
Son, being good at something requires strength. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bonvita is packed with vitality and a richer, creamier taste.
Welcome back. Straight to environmental matters. Finima Nature Park on Bonny Island has become Nigeria's 12th Ramsar Site of international importance. This milestone was factored into the celebration of the 2020 World Wetlands Day in Bonny River State. Osinachi Ibrahim reports that the event was put together by the Federal Ministry of Environment, National Conservation Foundation, and the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG).
This is stagnant water that has no use. But research has shown that wetlands are important to man and his environment. Hence, the destruction of wetlands has become a concern to stakeholders in the environment sector. It is on this premise that Nigeria joins the rest of the world to celebrate Wetlands Day. World Wetlands Day is observed annually on the 2nd of February. The theme of this year's celebration is wetlands and biodiversity. The Ministry of Environment and its partners are working together to ensure that biodiversity and wetlands are conserved and sustainably utilized.
Wetland is like a kidney to the earth. Purify the atmosphere, it purify the environment, and we're having here, it serves as an ecotourism.
The Finima Nature Park, sitting on a 1,000 hectare of land on the Bonny Island, established in 1999, has become an educational research center and ecotourism destination, among other benefits to the country.
We set up the Finima Nature Park 20 years ago. It became operational in 1999 and has since been what we call the carbon sink of this environment.
So I thought that there should be a small portion set aside for what I call a gene pool for both plants and animals, where all the exotic species and the species that are endemic, within this community can be conserved.
The 2020 World Wetlands Day celebration climaxed in tree planting and a tour of some sections of the park.
The road between Bonny and Port Harcourt is under construction. With that road open in a few years' time, the number of visitors will increase significantly.
Planting of new trees and conservation of old ones, as well as maintaining the wetlands, experts say, are part of commitment to tackle climate change.
Thanks for that informative piece, Osinachi. Let's go corporate now. Dr. Dowell's, a brand of Guinness Nigeria, recently splashed Naira rewards, running into millions on 12 of its customers. Hingino John Adams tells us that what the winners did to qualify for the surprise.
Last year, Mr. Dowell's, a brand of Guinness Nigeria, ran a national consumer promo from July to September. The winners from various states of the Federation are here in Lagos to receive their prizes. They are seated with doubts in their minds because for them, the prizes are too big to be true. One will not blame them for their unbelief, as the prizes are plots of lands worth millions of naira in the highbrow area of Ibeju-Agbe town, Ibeju-Lekki. Their doubts were cleared with the presentation of the land documents.
Actually, it's a shock and amazing completely, because in the first instance that they called me, I thought it was a 419.
So many people came to tell us it's a scam. Don't believe in it. Don't think about it. But at the long run, it's real. We are here.
But the time they called my phone, I won a land in Lekki. And now I'm a landowner in Lekki. And I was so happy and impressed.
Mr. Dowell's is not just concerned about making profits, but gives priority to customers.
And when you have a Mr. Dowell, know that you have a true friend, someone who believes in true spirit of friendship, and true moments deserve a true whiskey like Mr. Dowell.
The 12 lucky winners were later taken to the estate where the plots of land are located to see for themselves and complete their documents. Today, these winners are proud landowners in Lagos, all thanks to Mr. Dowell's.
Fabulous prices there. Congrats to the lucky new landowners. On to the next. Recently, one of Nigeria's most spectacular cultural festivals made a big comeback after a 10-year pause. I'm talking about the Arugungu International Fishing Festival. The 2020 edition was a grand affair, with participants competing as usual for impressive cash prizes and the tourists making beautiful memories. Anthony Forsen will show us some of the entertaining highlights. We'll see about bringing that report to you later. The traditional installation of the Akinrungu of Akumba Akoko conferred on a renowned journalist and publicist, Chief Alaba Yusuf, and his wife, Yeye Laide, was to reward and spur the couple to do more for the development and well-being of the people of Akumba Akoko in Akoko South local government area of Ondo State. Olajide Bello has details of the superlative ceremony.
That peculiar and colorful entertainment by the masquerades preceded the mandatory initiation of the Akinrungu of Akumba land, which depicts the tradition of the town. Thereafter, the newly installed Akinrungu and Yeye Akinrungu were brought before the king, the Alale of Akumba Akoko, His Royal Majesty Obasanjo Adeyeye, for his blessing, and subsequently were presented with their chieftaincy title certificates and the symbol of authority. The monarch, who described Chief Alaba Yusuf as a person-oriented and detribalized Nigerian, wants him to see his chieftaincy position as a call to duty by working for the good cause of Akumba Akoko and her citizens.
I call him Ambassador Extraordinary, or I even call him Advisor Plenipotentiary.
To show their allegiance to Chief Yusuf and his wife, both the young and the elderly in the town witnessed the installation, which they described as a way to recognize a man who they believe have vast resources and experience to run things around in the town.
Somebody who has the interest of his town need to be rewarded accordingly. Very industrious and as well know how to bring the youth together. You could see our women today. They wore the same cloth, the same uniform. It was given free to them by Akinrungu.
Today's event is very, very special.
He always tried to decide his own responsibility without fear of favor.
Giving scholarship and award to the sons and daughters of Akumba.
Now it was time for the Akinrungu and Yeye Akinrungu to appreciate the king and his council for nominating them for the high title in the land.
Is to use my expertise in public relations and journalism to expand the coast and to nourish and polish the image of the community. It's about reputation management, it's about conflict resolution, and it's about prevention of conflict.
The community should be expect the best from us. We will try our best, we will add our best to the community to serve Akumba land.
It's a momentous occasion for our family. It's so great to see my father achieve this title, and I'm so grateful.
God continues to bless them so that they're able to continue to help this community and help everyone in this society to grow.
The newly installed chiefs later welcomed guests at a reception where Akinrungu Alaba Yusuf cut his 60th birthday anniversary cake, which coincided with the installation. Highlights of the event include a book presentation and Alaba Yusuf Endowment Trust Fund. Born into a modest, enterprising family in Akoko Southwest local government area of Ondo State 60 years ago, Akinrungu Alaba is a renowned journalist and world-acclaimed media and public relations consultant.
Congratulations to the couple on the traditional recognition. Now back to the Fishing Festival. Recently, one of Nigeria's most spectacular cultural festivals made a big comeback after a 10-year pause. I'm talking about the Arugungu International Fishing Festival. The 2020 edition was a grand affair, with participants competing as usual for impressive cash prizes and the tourists making beautiful memories. Anthony Forson will show us some of the entertaining highlights.
The Arugungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival was flagged off in Abuja with a motor rally. The motor race traversed 5 states to arrive Arugungu. There was polo.
Lado Aliyu takes the ball forward, left and right, Lado Aliyu, left and right, he goes in there, left and right, he moves in, and the backhander coming.
Other games such as archery and catapulting, just as there was donkey and camel race. Local boxing and wrestling were not left out. The quiet Arugungu town came alive as movement within the city center became hectic given the vehicular and human traffic. This crowd each time is headed somewhere an event is holding. President Muhammadu Buhari was equally not left out of the festival. There was the Kabanchi display, a highly significant event which includes swimming competition of different styles, bare hand fishing, wild dog chasing. The grand finale is the grand fishing at the Matamfada River. This event exposed the people's anxiety as they couldn't hold back the patience they have endured for 10 years.
They have been waiting for 10 years. But 10 years is a long wait, so we all understand. And all the kids here will appreciate the excitement.
It, however, paid off with this catch. The biggest weighing 78 kilograms, followed by 75 and 70 kilograms respectively.
That I have traveled a lot to, and I've never witnessed this kind of festival.
I'm a very happy person. I believe every person in Arugungu is happy. Everyone you look at is happy and excited with what is happening today.
For tourists who came from far and near, it was a true show of Nigeria's diversity, which is its strength and should be the pivot upon which its unity is anchored.
And some people have value to promote their own, to attract all walk of life across the whole country to be here. You can find Oni here, you can find Sultan here, you can find we from the Niger Delta coming here.
For the Emir of Arugungu, it is gratifying to have the festival revived.
To have created confidence that this part of the country is peaceful to host a big event like this in 5 days.
On the whole, security concerns was fingered as responsible for the suspension of the festival, which the present administration has addressed substantially.
We cannot, continue to say, we can't emphasize it enough, but clearly what was, obtainable 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, it's not the same thing today. Probably 5 years ago, 3 years ago, nobody would have ever thought of, coming to Arugungu for any festival.
It's very, very illustrative and inspiring. It reflects the courage of the people, the strong leadership that is provided by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Like you just saw, the Arugungu Fishing Festival is back with a bang. We'll look forward to next year's. Let's go on another break. Please don't go away.
Ankara shopping with the right place, boy. That one no fine. No, it's too dull. This one. Oh wow, it's beautiful. Omo, this fabric. It gon' fade though.
Yeah. Look, make I tell you something. The new area Ankara, it go take good care of it.
Right.
Not lie, not true.
And the price
Cheap.
Try new Ariel on your Ankara and colors now.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and the Federal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with development partners, heartily welcome the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFRO, and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, Secretary to the Government of the Federation Bas Mustafa, the Honorable Minister of Health Dr. Sage Hanire, Minister of State for Health Dr. Olorunimbe Mamura, the Honorable Minister of FCT Malam Mohammed Bello, the Minister of State FCT Hajia Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, traditional rulers, development partners, and other key players to the official launch of the Integrated Medical Outreach for Immunization and Other Primary Healthcare Services, IMOP. The Integrated Medical Outreach Program, IMOP, is a federal government initiative which will provide free primary healthcare services, vaccination for children of age 0 to 2. Venue, Kwari Township Primary Healthcare Center. Date, Monday, 16th March 2020. Time, 10 a.m. Dr. Faisal Shwaib, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Announcer.
When I was pregnant, I worried you would look like your dad. But look at you. After 6 months, I worried about the right foods to give you. Now you've grown so much, but doctor says anemia can affect your growth and slow your learning.
Mom is right. 7 out of 10 kids in Nigeria suffer from iron deficiency, which can cause anemia. 1 meal of Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus provides 50% of your child's daily iron needs to support proper growth and learning.
That's reassuring. Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort Deodorant. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance from Nivea.
Never get caught unfresh with the new Nivea Dry Fresh Deodorants.
Have become part of our lives, and life can be a nightmare without power. That's why, now more than ever, you need to take control of your life with Omaha Portables.
The power output of every Omaha generator is exactly as stated in its power rating.
As long as there's Omaha, your home will have the reliable power you thoroughly deserve.
Omaha generator gives us peace of mind because it never fails us.
Omaha Portable Generators, inspired by you. Omaha, Amazing Bluetooth, gripping 4K, high-def satellite receiver, vibrant colors, make you feel truly immersed in the action. Omaha Television, inspired by you.
This is beautiful.
Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam.
Hello, honey.
Hey, baby.
Wow. Those guys are good in bed.
What?
Yes, we're good in bed. Hurry now to any Vitafoam accredited dealer nationwide or visit us online on www.vitafoamng.com to place your order today. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Let's get on the wedding train now, shall we? It was a circle of notable personalities in the nation's political arena when heavyweights gathered at Gwagwalada Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory to witness the beginning of a lifetime journey between Hassan Al-Makura and his heartthrob, Hajara. Let's see how it went.
Gwagwalada was temporarily locked down when personalities turned out to be part of the matrimonial journey of Hassan and Hajara in large number. The Imam Muhammad Sani joined the two as husband and wife after the requirement of 500,000 naira as bride price was fulfilled by the groom's family. The Imam advised the couple to live in harmony with one another, avoid external interference, and strive in the spirit of Islam. A reception was later held in honor of the couple, where personalities and guests at the event urged the couple to always appreciate each other and share views concerning home front.
I pray Allah will put a lot of barakah in the wedding.
I wish them God's blessings and that this wedding, this marriage will blossom.
They need to show understanding and love to themselves. And then what is also key is communication.
There should be God-fearing in their matrimonial life.
Parents and other family members have this to say.
On a day like this, the only thing one can say is to pray the Almighty God to continue to give this couple good health, guidance, and perseverance.
My advice to the couple is to start their home based on trust and the fear of Allah.
They should not involve us in anything they are doing. I pray for them for a very successful marriage.
She's a wonderful lady, she's caring, and she's very, very God-fearing lady.
I'm so happy I'm able to witness this day.
Beautiful wedding. We wish them all the best. And it was a historic day for a proud father, Charles Bula, a former news manager with the NTA, when he walked his lovely daughter, Anastasia, down the aisle to be joined in matrimony with the love of her life, Simon Agayo. Husseini Mohammed Isa reports on the nuptials that took place at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Cathedral in Makurdi, Benue State.
Simon and Anastasia walked down the aisle in holy matrimony, fulfilling the biblical injunction that a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. The officiating priest, Reverend Father Benjamin Kule, charged the couple as members of one body to begin to live according to the tenets of God's word in order to have a successful marriage.
You are the head,
Therefore, wives, be submissive to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives as you love yourself.
Take this ring
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and of the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Take this ring
As a sign of my love and fidelity.
as a sign of my love and fidelity.
In the name of the Father,
In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and of the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Thereafter, they were presented with marriage certificate. The guests moved to the wedding reception ground where the couple performed their first assignment as husband and wife by cutting the cake.
And an extraordinary E. Thank you. Put your hands together for them, please.
The couple, who were excited by the attendance, recall how the journey that started 4 years ago culminated into marriage.
It's a remarkable day for me, a joyous day, and I'm very happy.
It's the happiest day of my life. 4 years ago when I saw mine, at first sight, my heart told me this was my wife.
Bride's father, a retired manager news with NTA, Charles Bula, and the groom's father, Dominic Agayo, could not hide their joy.
Be very excited. I'm overwhelmed because for the fact that they just finished her education and she wants to marry, and I feel very excited.
They should be patient and accept whatever comes within them.
Congratulations to the latest Mr. and Mrs. and of course both families. Elsewhere, Dutse, the Jigawa state capital, was agog on Friday with notable personalities from across Nigeria and beyond who converged on the palace of the Emir of Dutse, Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, to be part of the wedding fatia of the son and daughter of two illustrious Nigerians. Mansur Aliyu Hassan reports that President Muhammadu Buhari sent a powerful delegation to the ceremony.
It was the first major social gathering witnessed by the people of Dusa town since the beginning of the year 2020. The wedding fatia of Sheikh Sani Sami Dangaladi Manzuru, son of the Emir of Zuru Muhammad Sani Sami, and Afia Bashir al-Hatu, daughter of the former Minister of Power Muhammad Bashir al-Hatu, who holds the title of Wazir in Dutse, solemnized at the palace of the Emir of Dutse. Shortly after the Jumaat prayer, the wedding fatia was presided by the chief imam of the Emir's palace, Ustaz Musa Bala. The groom's representative, Senator Muhammad Mogoro Galadi Manzuru, seeks for Afia's hand in marriage after payment of 100,000 naira as dowry.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
It was indeed a spectacular wedding ceremony in the history of the Dutse Emirate, in view of the caliber of personalities that graced the occasion. President Muhammad Buhari sent in a high-powered delegation. Governor Muhammad Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State, former governors, members of the National and State Assemblies, emirs and many traditional title holders, as well as captains of industry, also graced the occasion.
We pray for them. I pray all the people that come here. You know, a lot, thousands of people have gone to witness this marriage. So we want to thank them. We want to thank everybody who came here, and we pray for them to have a happy marriage.
Shortly after that, the bride's father, Bashir al-Hatu, hosted dignitaries to a colorful reception, to the admiration of family, friends and other well-wishers.
Well, the couple have come from families that they do not require too much message. They have seen how we have brought them up. They should do exactly what they have witnessed in our homes.
The groom Sheikh Sani Sami and the bride Afia Bashir al-Hatu could not hide their joy, expressing gratitude to all those who make their marriage a success.
Alhamdulillah, I thank God for giving us the long life and fortitude to see this day. And I'm very excited, and I look forward to the life we'll be living together, inshallah.
The wedding fatia of Sheikh Sani Sami, the Dangaladima of Zuru and Afia al-Hatu daughter of the popular Wazir Ndusi, was seen and described by many as an avenue of rekindling existing mutual understanding amongst different traditional institutions in the country.
Yes, wishing the couple many blessings. And this is where we call it a day on Newsline. We appreciate you for watching. Be sure to tune in same time next Sunday. I'll leave you with this. Stay positive, work hard, make it happen. Good night and God bless Nigeria.